Welcome back, folks, to another episode of Headwaters for Heroes Outdoors. On this episode, we travel to South Texas near Catarina, Texas, to the Flat Creek Ranch, for our Purple Heart veteran will be hunting a trophy whitetail. Take a look.
My name's Justin Garcia. I'm pro-staff for Headwaters for Heroes. So we're hunting down in Dimmitt County. It's part of the Golden Triangle of South Texas when you're talking hunting big whitetails. On this ranch, you're gonna see a lot of big deer. You're gonna see a lot of healthy deer. Their management program on this ranch is, I mean, it's top of the line. You're not gonna find a better management program. But it's the typical South Texas. I mean, a lot of thorn scrub. You're gonna find a lot of mesquite bushes, a lot of cactus. And so when you have high quality deer out here, you gotta supplement them with good food. Just make sure that they're keeping their nutrition up. They live a rough life down here. So, I mean, a whitetail buck in South Texas has a 25% chance to make it to the age of 6 years old. And so a ranch like this, they give them the opportunity to grow to their full potential and actually be a big trophy buck.
I got to meet Kevin Murry last year down at the Longfellow Ranch. Kevin saw what Headwaters for Heroes did, was able to talk to his dad and two brothers, and was able to make us have an opportunity to come down to this ranch. The ranch is beautiful.
So Headwaters for Heroes, it's a program that takes Purple Heart veterans, Gold Star families hunting and fishing, getting them in the outdoors. Actually, the president of Headwaters, his name is Steve Sweeney. He started it with a guy named Matt Deathridge. He's a double amputee, missing both legs. I mean, with the program, most of the pro staff, most everybody is actually a veteran. So if you look at Headwaters logo, it says Soldiers Helping Soldiers. For the most part, everybody's a veteran. Actually, I think the only two people that might not be are Steve Sweeney and myself. And so it's really cool. You always get a brotherhood. I mean, we've been on hunts where we have 4 veterans. There are 4 Purple Heart veterans, and then all the guides are veterans. And so it's really cool. You get a brotherhood that bringing all these guys together.
My name is Matt Miles. I am a former U.S. Army combat engineer. I currently live in San Antonio, Texas, and I am a Purple Heart recipient. So we're at Flat Creek Ranch down in South Texas. So I met the Murry family in 2011 through another hunt opportunity that I had down here, and I was able to bring all the guys that were with me in my platoon when I was injured that came down here, and they were hosted for the weekend, and all of us were out hunting with the Murry family and some of their friends and extended family as well. Headwaters for Heroes reached out to the Murry family and asked if they had both the availability and opportunity to present a hunt for a Purple Heart veteran, and in combination with me having a history with the Murry family and the opportunity, they invited me down for the weekend to come down and hunt and spend time with them. This is the first hunt or experience that I've had with Headwaters for Heroes. I do know some other veterans that have had an opportunity to work with the organization and spend time with them, as well as hunt at some of the venues that they've been to. The overall mission and the goal of Headwaters for Heroes is exceptional. I think it's near and dear to a lot of veterans' hearts that they want to give back to the community and allow them to flourish as, you know, people going on in their, you know, after injury. What does that look like, and how do you become a productive member of society and kind of reintegrate after you separate from the military? And all those pieces, I think, are extremely critical to overall well-being for the veteran. So.
So I've known the Murry family for over 10 years. It's been a long time. They're some of the best people you'll ever meet. The one thing you can say about the Murry family is they're honest. They're gonna tell you how it is, whether you like it or not. But they're just wonderful people. We actually had a hunt scheduled at another ranch, and for certain reasons that hunt wasn't gonna work out. And so I called Kevin up and I said, hey, we just had a hunt that we're not gonna be able to do at this ranch. Do you know anybody that would be willing to donate a hunt for Headwaters for a Purple Heart veteran? And he said, yeah, give me a few minutes, let me call Dad. And I wasn't calling them to say, hey, can we go out there and hunt on your place? Nothing like that. They have a lot of connections, they know a lot of people and a lot of ranches, and fortunately we were able to get Matt out here. Like he said, he's known the family for over 10 years as well. And so, I mean, everybody's like family. When you come out here, you're not a stranger. You become family real quick with these guys.
So the opportunity, or the hunt, when I first met the Murry family in 2011, as I said, it incorporated several of the guys that were in my platoon. I think that time with those guys, some of them I had not seen since they returned from Afghanistan or shortly thereafter. So the opportunity to essentially have a reunion with some of those guys was important for me as well as them. I think a lot of them were concerned about whether or not I was doing well, and on the flip side of that, I was obviously concerned about them and their well-being. Some of those guys now one of them's in medical school, one of them works for the State Department, and there's just, a group of those guys still hanging around the military community. Some are still on active duty, and that whole, it kind of brings us together and shows us that there is life after deployment, there is life after injury, and it doesn't all have to be, in a bad way. It can be a positive thing as well. Upon arriving to the lodge down here, we noticed that a cold front was moving through, and the winds were expected to be pretty high. And on the morning of the hunt, the winds were exactly what was predicted and presented some challenges with the animals moving and whatnot. So
we got to the deer stand this morning about an hour before daylight, and we get to the stand and the wind's of course blowing 30-40 miles an hour. When you're hunting, you just got to kind of roll with the punches. You don't know whatever's thrown at you, you just got to take it and keep on. So we get to the stand and get set up, and like I said, we're there an hour before daylight, and with this wind, the deer just kind of laid up, so there wasn't a whole lot of activity. But as the sun started to rise a little bit, you can just barely see, you start to see a few deer moving out there. It was mostly just does kind of milling around, and then about 15 minutes after daylight,
he came out and I wasn't letting him leave.
the management program on this ranch, when you see a deer that needs to be shot for management purposes, it's time to shoot him. And so this deer, he stepped out, we started looking at him, and I looked over at Matt and I said, that's one that we need to take. And his exact words were, you don't need to tell me twice. And so we got the gun up, Matt got set up, ready to go, and he took a shot. It was roughly 150, 200 yards, somewhere in there, and Matt dropped him in his tracks.
I think for me, hunting has become more of a family gathering. Every time I've been able to hunt with the Murrays or other friends of mine, it becomes more of a joke session, a time to release, a time to kind of let your hair down if you have hair. Do things that are enjoyable, but don't take yourself too seriously, and just kind of relax, give you that time to decompress. And I think after me separating from the military, I wasn't a hunter prior to being in the Army. And so it's given me a totally different outlook on things, because the job I'm currently in has helped, it was helped facilitated through some of the friends that I've met through hunting. And so all those pieces, it's like they've all kind of meshed well and helped me grow as an individual and be a better person for it.
I came out here to the Flat Creek Ranch one time, and the Murrays had Matt and a bunch of his brothers from the military out here, and it was pretty awesome. Being around those guys, it's just, you're constantly laughing. There's always jokes. If you mess up, you're gonna know it. Everybody's real quick to tell you, and they won't ever forget it either. They'll bring it up 10 years later. But Matt's just one of those guys. You could tell he's a natural leader. You could tell even within the brotherhood, the guys kind of look up to Matt. It was great when I found out that Matt was gonna come down here and hunt and get to see Matt again. We live really close to each other, but in this crazy world, it's just trying to see friends sometimes. It doesn't happen. Being a pro staff for Headwaters, I get to go to a lot of different ranches and guide veterans on hunts and Gold Star kids, and it's pretty incredible. It's my favorite thing to do every year. It's kind of my release. Being able to hang around these guys and try and do whatever I can to help them out, to show them a fun time, to have them harvest an animal and get some natural meat for their freezers. How do you ever really repay somebody that literally laid their life on the line for you? You can't do that. So for me, I get this opportunity to go out and guide these guys or these kids, these Gold Star widows. It's an incredible experience. Everybody's story is so different. And the more people I meet, the more I see that it's such a big community, but it seems like a really tight-knit community. Everybody has connections. And so I'm very fortunate that I met the people at Headwaters for Heroes and that I get to do this.
I enlisted in the Army in '98, and I had spent up to the time where I was injured in Afghanistan. I was a combat engineer, had been on a deployment to Iraq. I'd spent a little bit of time in Kosovo, Korea. I'd spent time overseas I was stationed in Italy, and then came back stateside. And in 2007, I was deployed to Afghanistan, where the vehicle I was riding in struck an IED that traumatically amputated one of my legs and damaged pretty much each of my limbs. Have had surgeries on them since that time, and minor head injuries, eye injuries, things of that nature that have kind of scuffed me up a little bit, but I get around fairly well given the injuries. After separating from the Army, I decided that I wanted to fulfill one of my dreams, which was to obtain a bachelor's degree. It was something I started before I enlisted, never saw it through, finally had another opportunity to do it, and took that and successfully graduated and began a career in commercial real estate banking, where I currently work for a bank here in San Antonio. I think the opportunity to give or the ability for the veteran to be able to go back to school through some of the programs that exist, through whether it's the VA or other nonprofit organizations, I think is critical for them to engage and try to utilize those resources so that they can not only better themselves, but, better the people around them and become a member of a team again, because I think that piece of it is important for all of us to feel like we belong to something. And through that process, I think that kind of solidifies that and helps make it become more of a reality.
Today we're down at Catarina, Texas, at the Flat Creek Ranch. The Murry family has generously given Headwaters For Heroes an opportunity to come in and help with their management program. Like Justin Garcia has stated, that the management plan here is spectacular. It's a very no BS management program. They want to get out there and make sure they have the best deer that anybody can see in the South Texas region. This weekend we had some issues. COVID has come along, but we were able to get Matt Miles down here, the Purple Heart recipient out of San Antonio, Texas. He's first time hunter with us this time, and it's very exciting to bring a new vet in. It's always, we want people to know that we're here for all of our vets, all of our Purple Hearts, our Gold Star families. Reach out to Headwaters For Heroes. Let's get you on a hunt. We like making our family bigger. Headwaters For Heroes is veterans serving veterans, but that does not mean that we don't have volunteers out there that love to come in, that on the civilian side, like Justin Garcia, Steve Sweeney, the president of the organization, that has come out and wants to help these people that keep America free. Let us do what we do every day. So we appreciate all of our civilians and our military families that make this America, America.
So there are a large number of organizations out there that serve the veteran community, and I think each of them has their own little niche in what they do. And I think the Headwaters For Heroes, trying to get them outdoors, but also help reintegrate them, if you will, and help facilitate them having accessibility to resources and things of that nature is important. And so for that reason, I think it's a noble cause and something that I'm glad to be a part of.
We met Matt, 10 years ago, I guess, with another organization, and since then it's been pretty amazing dealing with the combat veterans, and it's not only the struggles that they go through, but their families as well, and it's been pretty cool to give back as much as we can.
I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Headwaters For Heroes as well as the Murry family for both bringing me out and doing what they do to help myself as well as others in the community that are deserving but also in need of some of these resources. So I appreciate it and thank you.
With all the things that we do, it's just me, my dad, my two brothers, having this guy here this weekend is amazing. And we love you always.
Yeah.
And these guys come out and they tell us thank you for giving their time, and it's never enough to be able to repay them back for what they've done. So, pretty cool. Appreciate it.
Thank you guys.
Yeah.
big teddy bear.
Family, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Wow, another incredible adventure for our Purple Heart veterans. Matt did a phenomenal job of taking down that whitetail buck. And we can't thank Mr. D.A. Murray and his son Kevin Murray for all their hospitality and bringing us out to this ranch. It's a beautiful ranch. It's a great place to be. And above all, our veteran is excited as he can be to be putting this trophy whitetail on the wall. We appreciate you tuning in and watching Headwaters for Heroes Outdoors. Until next week.